Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I heard about the problems going on between Tamar Braxton and David Adefacial, her boyfriend or ex. I don't know if they broke up, but anyway, he filed a restraining order against her, claiming that she was very aggressive towards him, and it's kind of resulted in this huge rift between the Braxton family and David, and it also resulted in the breakup between Tamar and David. And I wanted to talk about how we as a society tend to jump into relationships as if it is a cure for all of our problems. My one of my philosophies is this: if you believe that you need to be in a relationship, or if you believe that a relationship is your escape from whatever negative situation that you're in, or if you believe that your relationship or getting into a relationship will give you a happier life, then that to me is 100% proof that you should not be in a relationship. I know that these things sound safe and positive, like, or relationship brings out the best in me, or it will make me a happier person, or it will take me out of my negative situation. These all sound positive, but they're actually not. They're coming from a very negative place, and from a place of a lack of control over one's life. So if you have to find somebody else to help improve your life, or if you think that you need someone else to bring you happiness, then quite frankly, getting into a relationship with that person is not going to bring you happiness. It's going to result in the opposite, because what you're doing is you're putting all of your faith into another human being that have their own issues, their own flaws, their own worries, their own stress, and their own hopes. And you are putting all of these weights on another person to lead you to happiness. And that is one of the most impossible journeys you can embark on, because nobody can really bring you happiness. You have to find it for yourself, and it's not in a place where you can go and get it. It's within you, and you have to get yourself to a healthy place where you're able to be happy without anyone. It has to be without anyone. And I think that people should really work on themselves and get themselves to a place where they are able to be happy and comfortable and confident without anyone's help or approval before they get into a relationship. That way, when they get into a relationship, they are going into the relationship healthy, and they are bringing something positive. So if two people that are in a healthy, positive place come into a relationship, they won't really need each other, quite frankly. They will want to be with each other, but they shouldn't need each other. I think that if you need another person to get to a good place in life, then you really are not in a position to be in a relationship. You have to get there first before going into a relationship. That way, we're not having these kinds of situations where people just are not dealing with normal relationship problems the healthy way, like filming each other while they're in a relationship and attacking each other, being physical, being violent, being aggressive. It's like that tells me that people are just not in a good place mentally and emotionally, and they should not be in a relationship. They need to take time off, work on themselves, and just get to a good place before putting themselves into another person's life. So, a lot of people are trying to determine who's right and who's wrong between Tamar and David, and who's the more aggressive one. And the fact of the matter is this. Obviously, I don't know these people personally. However, from my own deduction, I feel as though people that are generally quiet by nature, when they fight quietly. They are not as explosive as a person that is less quiet is when they fight. So when they argue, they won't be loud and, throwing things all over the place and just be as explosive because they're quiet by nature. Okay. Now, when you look at David and Tamar, they're both quite animated when they speak. When they're speaking normally, when they're having fun, when they're having a conversation, or when they're explaining their side of whatever's happening in their relationship. They're very animated. They gesture a lot. They gesture quite aggressively, and that is their normal I guess way of speaking and communicating and expressing themselves. So I'm more likely to say that they both get very animated when they are upset and having an argument with each other. The thing with arguments is that if you're arguing with a person that is not feeding fuel to the fire by being just as aggressive, it tends to, in a way, it can, not always, but it can make the more aggressive person a little less aggressive because the thing with non aggressive people or people that tend to fight more passively is that when the fight begins to get too intense, they tend to leave the premises and go elsewhere. That's kind of a common thing because everything just gets too much and they tend to leave. However, the person that is more aggressive is more likely to stay and is less likely to leave the premises when there's an argument because they stay, they yell, they gesture, and all of that. So, being that these two people are quite animated when they speak and when they are upset, I am less inclined to think that either of them try to calm the situation or try to de-escalate the situation. And if you were to ask me which one of them is more likely to be aggressive overtly, I would say both because that's just their personality. Even on a normal day, that's their personality. The man, David, is also very animated when he speaks. And I do not believe that Tamar is just going to come out with a completely fabricated lie about him being aggressive towards her if it never got to that point. I don't see why she would do that. I just don't see her fabricating a lie and showing the bruise and everything. I don't see her doing that. On the other hand, we know that Tamar can get quite aggressive when she's upset. So, as much as this is an unfortunate incident for both parties involved, I have to say they both just need to, I think, spend time away from each other because they both are, they don't seem to be equipped in handling conflicts very well. The way that they handle emotional difficulties tells me that they probably are not very equipped to handle things the mature way. And it's quite obvious that Tamar has been through a lot recently, especially since she just came out of the hospital. And this is just added stress. And there, I don't understand why she should be in a relationship with someone that she's not comfortable with. She just needs to spend time with her family, or better yet, spend time alone with her son and just regroup, and heal before she goes back into a relationship. This goes to show that nobody's relationship is relationship goals. Sometimes people look good in a relationship, and when we look at the photos and everything on social media, it might want us to wish that we have what people have, but everyone have problems that they're trying to work through. We're all trying to find happiness in our own way, and nobody's relationship should be your relationship goals. I'm just glad that Tamar and David decided to call it quits before things escalated, because we all know how things tend to get between couples that are not getting along and when there's violence involved. But I'm glad they're both safe, and they just need to retreat back to their families and work on themselves. That's my personal opinion. That's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.